Hey, I'm Spencer with energeticcity.ca, and this is the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. I'm here at Peace Gallery North with Sandy, Trout, and Linda Haugen. Got it. And we're going to talk a little bit about the newest exhibit that's coming to Peace Gallery North by Print Artists North. And Sandy, you were saying that this is probably the first show that it's just Print Artists North.
I believe it is. We've had several printmaking exhibits in the past, but we are really formally Print Artists North now.
Okay.
Yes.
Can either of you kind of tell me, I mean, you hear the term printmaking, but I don't know if people quite grasp what that entails.
That is, that's true. So a print, as most people think about it, is a photocopy reference, a photocopy print. You know, so you stand and print off 10 copies of a magazine page or something. These are all original hand-pulled prints. The artist has done everything from carving or etching or using stencils and placing them and inking in many creative ways. And there are so many printmaking processes that we could take a long time to make a list, which we won't. And then they're inked by hand and then put through a printing press. And so a lot of these are one of a kind. However, there are some processes where you can make several of a copy. And usually people edit copies down, so you might make no more of 12 or 15. Right. So that increases their value as well, you know, because they're precious. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excellent. Now you both are print artists in you know, your own right. Can you tell me a little bit about, I'll go to Sandy first, what your process is when you make a print?
Well, my favorite process is probably a lino cut over monoprints. I also love to do stencil monoprints, but I think I'm kind of known more for combining processes, and that when I first started learning, I was always thinking, what if? How can I make this different or unusual? Mm-hmm. And I'm a colorist, so being able to add a print on top of a colorful background is something that kind of makes my heart sing.
For sure. What's a monoprint? A
monoprint is, well, it's just a one-of-a-kind image, but you can make, one-of-a-kind inking and a print on top, but you might be able to make several copies of it. A monotype is one that you can't repeat. It's more of a painterly process. Gotcha. And there's no way you could exactly repeat it. So there's similarities. But.
Gotcha. I mean, for lack of a better word, it's kind of like what the kids call an NFT, where it's just kind of like, it's like that. I hate that I just brought that up, because they're not the same. But if you have to think about the idea,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Before I get going on NFTs, why don't you tell me your process when you make a print?
I also enjoy doing a mono print and then a lino print over top of it. But I also like hand painting. So I'll take one of my lino prints and I'll hand paint behind it, usually in gouache. And that just adds a pop of color. And that's quite popular in Australia and in the UK also. And I do enjoy that. And I also, I like carving on MDF board too.
Okay. What's gouache?
Gouache is the sister to watercolor, but it's opaque. It's not transparent.
Gotcha. It's very fun to say. Gouache.
It is gouache.
Gouache is probably my new favorite word.
Very good.
All right, let's get on to the exhibit here. So you have quite a few. It's a very diverse exhibit. There's clothing, as you can see over there. There's some really great prints as well, and some, I think that's mixed media. Maybe?
Yes, at the end, there are several mixed media.
Yeah.
Yes.
So really a smorgasbord for the eyes.
Absolutely. Etching,
yes.
Lino cuts,
yep.
Cards, books with, you can buy a whole book or you can buy individual prints that might be found in the books.
Right.
These two artists have done bookmaking with the group in the past.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the two artists that worked with your group, because we kind of touched on that. I did a little bit of a deep dive. If you want to go read it, it's at energeticcity.ca.
Oh.
I am blanking on the names at the moment.
Okay, Elaine Costaz
Yes.
and Victoria Edgar.
Yes.
And they originally were from Montreal. That's where they met and studied. But they've been in BC for many, many years. And when they came here, was really their goal to make their living from their art.
Right.
And that's difficult.
Oh my goodness, isn't it?
But
Yep.
they have done it. And they're very well known, not just in BC, but throughout Canada, for their excellence. And so just inside the arch, you know, that leads you into Chinatown in Victoria?
Yes.
About a block away from that, they have their own studio. You walk upstairs, it's an older, unique building. And from there, they teach, they do their own work. They have groups of students or individuals can come in and work with them.
Yep.
Some of our members did actually go down and work with them once, and then came back and told us about Victoria and Elaine. So this is the third time we've had them up, at least 3 times.
Yeah, they've
Yes,
been to Fort St. John a few times.
Yes, and the last time they were up, they had given us a workshop, and I also invited them into Charlie Lake School.
Oh, yes.
And they worked with Victoria worked with every single student for 3 days.
Wow.
Intensive.
That's a lot.
That's
for-
endurance.
For both.
Yes.
Yeah. Both the student and the teacher.
And Elaine also teaches at a college, and I'm sorry, I can't remember which college on the island.
I believe it was Victoria Arts.
That sounds right.
It's in the article.
Okay. And so they're beloved here. And the offerings that they're going to give us during these, they're going to be here about 9 or 10 days.
Yes.
And we're going to have 6 sessions, 6 different sessions with the artists, each one doing different things. And so it's just going to be a wealth of experience.
Yeah.
And this actually is another first. This is the first annual Fort St. John's Summer School of the Arts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so this first one happens to be all about prints. Next year, it'll be something different.
Hopefully
But this
gouache.
is a really wonderful way to start off this summer school idea.
That's excellent.
And
Yeah, summer school for.
all the spaces are full,
Wow.
and we can only think of expanding in the future. I think it'll be a really nice, positive way to involve other groups, perhaps, in the endeavor, and maybe a wider variety of students.
If someone's interested in maybe partnering or just want to show that they're interested to expand those seats, what's the best way to kind of contact you?
Well, we will advertise again, but I would say through MEEP, our secretary treasurer,
Yes.
and we will advertise well, and I think probably
There's a website.
a website, and there's also here in the gallery, they could ask Flo. Flo can also put them in contact with the appropriate people. We won't be advertising the next one for a little while. We're just going to talk about it at the end of this month. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Excellent. So the show the show is being assembled at the moment, but the opening reception is tonight at 7 p.m.
That's correct.
Usual art gallery opening. There'll be beverages and all that good stuff. What can people kind of expect coming to the exhibit tonight?
Well, they can meet many of the artists. We're assuming.
That's true. Have a good look at prints. They can
Yes.
ask how a print was done.
Absolutely.
Understand the actual process of printing it.
During our art sessions next door, starting next week, we are going to be setting up the inking table and the printing presses here.
Okay.
So that way people can come in and watch and see the process actually coming to life.
Wow, that'll be
Yeah,
really exciting.
and they'll be invited to come, it's open, walk through, see what we're doing. And I would always say, ask anybody a question, because everybody really, really likes to share and are passionate about what they do, and have enough expertise to really give a good explanation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so for the last part of the interview, I'm going to ask both of you to take me to your favorite piece that's in this exhibit and explain to me why it's your favorite piece.
Oh,
And you can choose one of yours if you want.
Well, we were going to talk about the steamroller prints because
Yes.
those are pretty dynamic.
They sure are.
Let's turn around here, Lynn,
Yes.
and we'll talk about it. So it's the
So for
Enjoy
the
Woods.
past 4 years, and with a hiatus during COVID, of course, we've had the steamroller printmaking event. So that means we have carved 2 feet by 4 foot boards, and usually in lino or MDF. MDF is quite tough to carve through, so you need power tools,
Wow.
but it's fun
Well, yeah.
and dust ridden. However, then we have, you can only describe it as a plywood piece of, like a donut, and you insert your print down into that. You've got it inked up, paper goes over top, a couple layers of carpet, and a great big, gigantic, donated by Solaris, road compactor drives over top of your print.
Wow.
And then back, and you lift up the results. So this is one from this year.
It's quite labor intensive.
Oh yeah, it's 50 hours of carving, and that's after you've already done your design. I happen to do my designs on my iPad first, and I can meticulously do all of the details that I want to do. I then take it over to Staples, they print it out. I then have to carbon paper copy it onto the board, and then I start carving.
Wow.
So there's a lot of work involved.
I'll say, yeah.
Tremendous amount.
I was just thinking like a giant stamp, but
Well, in the end, they are kind of a giant stamp.
I guess so, yeah. I don't know if it, yeah, I'm glad that I don't have to use a steamroller for like a normal stamp, but this is a great piece of work and like very detailed as well. You can kind of see, you know, even the detail in the roadway there.
Yeah, it's like with any art, you want to have your bold areas, you want your calm areas, you want your good detail areas.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah. And what was your kind of inspiration for this piece here?
Things just pop into your head.
Okay.
So I had drawn the initial one of this probably 3 years ago,
Okay.
and I just put it away, and I thought, this is the year that I want to do that. I think I have enough knowledge behind me
Yep.
to create those details in the lino that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's time.
Absolutely. And what does enjoy the ride kind of mean to you?
You know, and just enjoy what life brings to you.
All right. Awesome.
That's the important part. You know, enjoy your moment.
Mm-hmm.
Get off the cell phone, look around. I've just come back from Newfoundland. What an amazing place. Everything was, and I've got more ideas popping into my head about what I want to do.
Oh, well, I look forward to seeing your next piece. Sandy over here has been Vanna White for
Yes.
about 2 minutes while we've been talking.
Well,
So
this piece is one of the other two
okay, we'll get out of the way.
big prints that were done this summer.
I'll angle it down
But
way.
this is a collaborative piece.
Wow.
So there were 8 artists, each carved a square.
Mm-hmm.
And Linda actually designed the tree. And we took our own squares, you know, home, and we did our own thing without knowing what the other artists were doing.
Yeah, the only rule was that the tree had to match up.
I see.
Otherwise, do whatever you
Yeah.
want.
It's kind of like quilt work almost for this piece.
Yes. So Flying Colors, well, PAN, or Print Artists North, is a part of Flying Colors.
Okay.
But it's the people who do printmaking.
Right.
And so
Now we got another
Linda has the other one. Just
We'll
came
go
in.
over to Linda. So
So-
we got another tree situation.
So the deciduous and
tree.
the evergreen.
Different artists.
I really enjoyed like that each person. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that
Yeah,
you're in there.
each person.
Each person had like a piece of wildlife or a member of wildlife, and I mean really
A different
all of them.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to see how they kind of all flow and work together.
Yeah.
And somehow they do just work.
It's really cool. So this is just a sneak preview of what you can expect to see tonight and throughout, I think, August, right?
Yes, yes. I think it's the 27th of August. It's most of the month anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Well, I'll let you just put this down.
so you asked about a favorite piece.
Yes. Yes, Sandy, it's your turn.
You know, when you asked that, I thought, oh my gosh, you know, I could pretty well pick something of everything in here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what I'm going to do, just because it's different, and it's one of our one of the artists that is coming for to instruct us.
Okay.
I want to show you this little book she made. So she does make a lot of books.
Okay.
This one contains, I believe it's 7 different prints inside this beautiful little book with very beautiful Japanese papers.
Oh, wow.
And I just couldn't believe my eyes when I went through it. So they're loose in here, each one on a different, very special paper, divided with another piece of Japanese paper, and all these 7 little individual prints. So so the idea, the concept is wonderful, and it's so unique, and it's a little precious gift for somebody who appreciates printmaking. And or you can buy the whole book, or you can buy the individual prints.
Oh, excellent! And you can even see, like, you know, the detail around the side. I don't know if it picks up on camera, but you know, it's gold on
Yes.
this the border there.
Yes.
These are gorgeous.
They're just beautiful, and we've all done a little bit of, well, not all of us, many of us have done a little bit of bookmaking, but of course here's Victoria with her expertise and her many ideas. So this is an idea we hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
And and Elaine actually did a very special book. It also has many of his prints in it. It's over there. And anyway, people can see both of them tonight.
Excellent.
So I'm just so proud of everybody who submitted. Like I said, I could have chosen pretty much any of these pieces to say they're my favorites.
Absolutely.
So.
All right. Well, if you want to see more prints, or if you want to get involved with the print artist, I'm trying to make sure that I'm actually in the frame here. You can get in touch with Flying Colors, I believe, and then also make sure that you stop by tonight. Kicks off at 7, and you can come see all of the prints that are, you know, this is just a brief, like a taste of what's here. There are many pieces, so I do recommend coming to see it. And I believe it's going on until August 24th.
Yes.
Excellent. Anything you want to add, Sandy, before I let you?
Well, I was just going to say, be sure when you come in to talk with Flo, because she knows everybody, and should be a really good resource to, if you have other questions or want to find out more about the group. And you can also, as was mentioned, check the website, both Flying Colors Artists Association and Print Artists North.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Thank
this has
you.
been the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. I'm Spencer, and I'm slightly crooked because of the tripod. If you want to learn more, of course, we wrote an article about it, and you can learn more about the visiting artists, and you can head over to the website to find out more about Print Artists North. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay.